from the campus of the University of Pennsylvania Wharton School. This is the Wharton Sports Business Show on Business Radio, powered by the Wharton School. Here are Professors Ken Shropshire and Scott Rosner.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the Wharton Sports Business Show, Sirius XM 111 Business Radio, powered by the Wharton School. Scott Rosner coming at you live from Manhattan home studio. Guest host this week is the inimitable Ray Katz, the managing director from ROI Sports Group, and as well as the Collegiate Sports Management Group, Wharton alum. Ray, great to have you here, back again for a second time co-hosting.
Thank you, Scott. Always a pleasure to be back here, and it's an exciting week.
It is. We're smack dab in the middle of the Olympics. We'll be talking about that as Ray pinch hits for Ken, who is up at the Shropshire family estate this week. Hey, Ray, I want to change gears a little bit and talk about the collegiate media space and the multimedia rights space and what you guys are doing at Collegiate Sports Management Group in that space. So at the Division I FBS level, the big players are Learfield and IMG College. Learfield, as we've talked about in the show in the last couple of weeks, is on the blocks now. They've hired Moelis & Company to and seeking a buyer for Providence Equity, owns it. Tell us a little about what you're doing. It's a little different spin on it through Collegiate Sports Management Group.
Yeah, interesting, Scott. Thanks for asking. So I'm working with Mike Schreck, ex-head of Westwood One Radio and Dial Global Radio Sports Group. And for the last year and a half, we've been collaborating on aggregating Division II and now starting with Division III marketing rights, where we're up to at least verbals and in about half the cases written with 9 conferences and approaching over 100 schools. And now we're starting to get some inbound from lower tier Division I schools and individual Division II and Division III schools. And sponsors seem very interested in this when we get to scale. I think the reason they're interested is because it's a protected area where if you're a sponsor, you don't have to worry about, well, there's one school sponsor, one conference sponsor, a different TV advertiser, the coach has another deal, et cetera, et cetera. You're pretty much buying the ecosystem, and the Division II and III ecosystems combined are 61% the size of Division I, and about the same size as the Division I ecosystem, as you said, FBS, where all the activity is.
Yeah, and so talk about how you're going about and doing this. I mean, you know, it seems like the other players in the space have largely ignored Division II and Division III so far. This is not an invitation for them to get involved in that space. But how is the Division II, Division III space differ?
Well, I think it requires a lot more personal attention from senior people to every conference commissioner and athletic director that we work with. These are incredibly brilliant people that we've been fortunate to meet over the past 18 months that are simply under-resourced. And simply being able to exchange best practices and educate them on best practices, as well as bring in sponsors large and small where we have relationships from our combined 35 plus years in the business. It's been really rewarding. It's been really interesting. And even some small sponsorship and licensing checks that we've delivered have been greeted extremely enthusiastically, because it's enabling a coach not to lie in the field themselves. It's enabling them to get some part-time administrative help. It's enabling the schools to be able to afford to stream their content, which helps them acquire better and more applications for their colleges and universities. So this has been one of the most rewarding things I've done in my career, if not the most rewarding, because it's doing well and also doing good. So
it seems like there's enormous opportunity here. What are some of the risks associated with this? I mean, we always think about the potential for disintermediation in the space. Is that a reality? And if not, why not?
Well, I guess there are disintermediation in terms of IMG or Learfield coming in and offering these conferences giant checks, which if they do that, they'll never make the money back.
No, but why can't the schools do it themselves?
Well, the schools can't do it themselves because they're so under-resourced. In other words, our business model, we can deliver ultimately between $50,000 and $100,000 per school and then aggregate that up through all the conferences. And we have a terrific business that lands in the mid 8-figure revenue range with pretty good profit margins eventually. But we're doing a lot of the heavy lifting now in order to do that. It doesn't make sense for big brands or even small, mid-sized regional brands to sponsor one school, as great as that school is at the Division II, Division III level, with one or two exceptions. Some of them in the Wisconsin system, Whitewater, Wisconsin, Stevens Point,
Yeah.
two big ones, notably. But it just doesn't make sense for them. We are bringing a good amount to the table. We're doing much more than just selling for them. We're acting as a properties group. We're delivering licensing solutions. We're delivering best-in-class tech solutions across the board, whether it's streaming, whether it's working with mobile commerce, mobile promotion with companies like Lemon, doing a deep dive into all the different streaming products that are out there now, pros and cons. So it's we're doing much more. We're really acting like a properties group or an outsourced team business operations group with some best-in-class people, both on our advisory board, joining our advisory board, or simply consultants for the company.
So high growth area, certainly at the Division II, Division III level, and maybe some of the smaller kind of Division I without football schools. At the FBS level, how much more room is there for growth?
I think there's a real risk of disintermediation, and I think someone coming in to buy Learfield for $1 billion has to think really hard about this. There are some brilliant commissioners like Larry Scott that are making moves right now to take the rights in-house. At a conference level, the Pac-12 conference, the Big Ten conference, I can't get the numbers straight anymore because they've changed and they have no reflection on how many schools are actually in the conference.
And they will change some more.
So, so it's a fine line between branding and accuracy. But I see no reason why, where there is a PAC conference, where there are regional affiliations, where there is television scale of audience, why it can't be done. And I think if IMG and Learfield are going to maintain their positions, they're going to have to ultimately, to some extent, become more media companies than they are right now. And add more to the table than sponsorship sales.
Yeah, and that's certainly one of the things that we hear about as well with the Learfields and IMGs, the two biggest multimedia rights players in the space, is that they can hire a lot better talent, especially at the state schools where they're not subject to more public disclosure of what earnings are, and they can bring in better people who are more experienced and pay them a better number as a result and get better results on the back end. Is there anything to that?
Well, at the school level, but not necessarily at the conference level. I'm not sure they're paying crazy amounts of money at the school level either at this point in time. And they are conflicted in terms of local sales versus national sales and what do they get credit for. And so these are two tremendous companies. I have enormous respect for them. We do business with them on the consulting side in terms of looking at some brand products for different companies or brand projects for different companies. And they do a fantastic job. We're very, very small compared to IMG and Learfield. We don't have those kind of aspirations. What we do want to do is celebrate the incredible, true student athletes and the great stories and inspirational people that play sports for and are students at these Division II and Division III schools, ranging from the NESCAC conference, which is a very affluent conference. And now we're working in conjunction with Neil Malvone of Cutting Edge Sports on the Dream Bowl, 5th annual Dream Bowl All-Star Game, which features D2, D3, and FCS players. And now the Spirit of America Bowl, which is going to feature historically black colleges and university athletes. So that's going to celebrate them as well, and it's again very rewarding.
It absolutely sounds fantastic with the Collegiate Sports Marketing Group, Sports Management Group. So we're going to take a short break, but stay with us. When we come back, we will have Scott Jenkins, the general manager of Mercedes-Benz Stadium, on with us. You're listening to the Wharton Sports Business Show on Sirius XM 111 Business Radio, powered by the Wharton School.